Hey everyone, Thomas fan 11, aka Desto here. We all know that the hit era is bad. It flanderized our favorite characters and made the show more childish. I was born in 2003, so I pretty much grew up with this era. However, setting my nostalgia aside, yeah, the era is still pretty bad. Among all that rubbish though, are a few gems. We all love Hector the Horrid and respect for Gordon, yes, but my favorite episode is simpler. Let's take a look.
Percy and the Left Luggage.
Percy and the Left Luggage is an episode from season 11. You probably think that it's a basic, forgettable episode. That's where you're wrong! Well, you're not wrong, I mean, you can have your own opinion. Basically, in this episode, the Fat Controller either thinks that Percy is Thomas, or he just forgot that he has like over 100 engines. I say this because he gives Percy like 4 or 5 special jobs all at once. It kinda reminds me of Don't Be Silly Billy, where Topham gave Billy a bunch of jobs on his first day. Anyway, one of Percy's jobs was to deliver Dowager Hat's luggage to the airport. Percy, being Percy, decides to put it off until the very last minute. I don't entirely blame Percy, to be honest. I mean, one of his jobs was to take the children to a summer party. That alone sounds way more fun than delivering luggage full of clothes and other old people stuff. He spends the episode doing his other jobs while constantly telling himself he'll deliver the luggage later. While taking on water, he sees Topham driving to the airport, and he's like, "I forgot about the luggage!" He then finds Edward, gives him the kids, grabs the luggage, and races down to the airport just in time. First of all, I think it's funny that Topham gave Percy jobs that he specifically would love. He gets to pull the holiday mail and take the children. Hit was out here doing a lucky episode before Brenner did. That episode is still great too, by the way. I also think that Percy was the right character to use for this type of story. He's young, eager, and excited. He was given loads of options. Of course he's gonna save the most boring one for last. It's something that any of us could do, especially kids. For example, you're meant to do the dishes before your parents get home, but you say, "I can do that later," while you're in the middle of a game or something. Then, you suddenly hear them driving in, so you run down the stairs and get the dishes done at supersonic speed before they open the door. Another example. It's the weekend, and you have homework. But you decide to mess around instead, saying, "I can do that later." Monday comes, and the teacher is collecting the homework, so you scribble down whatever you can. That sort of thing. That's why the 3 strikes formula actually works. Percy isn't being stupid or flanderized here because, like I said, he's a young engine. He's not as responsible as Edward or something. If Edward was the main character here, it would be flanderization. It's not a perfect portrayal of Percy, but it's as close as the hit era can get to getting him right. Another reason the 3 strikes formula works is because Percy has 4 jobs. He does 3 first before the luggage. In other episodes like Thomas's Frosty Friend and Up, Up and Away, it makes no sense. Why does Thomas have to fail at, do, or say something dumb 3 times? In this episode, Percy doesn't necessarily fail at the strikes. In fact, he is midway through his 3rd one when the race begins. Speaking of the race, I love it! I'm sure by now you all know that I'm obsessed with Thomas and James racing. Seriously, send help, I think I have done this remake over. While the race here isn't as good as that masterpiece of a song, it's still great. I think there's a bit too much narration, but I still like it. Percy versus Topham's car. You don't see that every day now, do you? How Topham didn't notice Percy at the water tower or during the chase, I don't know. All I'm gonna say is that Percy got very lucky. Topham passed him, yet he somehow found an engine to give the kids to, ran back to Maithwaite, grabbed the luggage, and made it to the airport in time. I guess Percy's just built different. I like to think of this as a little redemption for the little green engine, from A Scarf for Percy. In that episode, he messed up Topham's luggage, so of course he's not gonna make the same mistake for his mother. Speaking of his mother, I wonder if this is the only appearance of Dowager Hat's model figure. I can't remember any more episodes that it appears in before CGI. The last line of the episode is satisfying.
And Percy blew his whistle. He'd never leave things to the last minute again.
I think that's a nice little takeaway. It's better to get something over and done with than to leave it to the last minute. Yes, this episode isn't deep or anything, but it's still a fun little episode with a simple moral that kids can easily relate to and take away from. And that's why Percy and the Left Luggage is my favorite hit era episode.